Hello, Scrolls fans, and welcome to Heart of Scrolls. Today is August the 22nd, 2014, and we are very excited to have you guys join us because we have a very special Heart of Scrolls. It's special for a couple of reasons. One, we have awesome new toys to talk about in the Waypoints expansion, and two, we had a little bit of change of plans right before the show started. We had a couple of folks have some real life stuff come up, so they were not able to join us. So we are running with just a few people. We have Color Plant joining us, Ice Cream joining us, both on tech and in front of the camera, and our new friend Lenny, who I don't think he's going to say much, but he might say something. We'll see. So anyway, welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for being on today.
Hey, no problem.
Yep, exactly that. As I'm fixing the overlay.
Yeah, he's going to keep working on that stuff while we go. A third reason, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that this Heart of Scrolls is so special is that we are sort of the pre-show for the 24-hour stream that will be held on the Owl stream, hosted by Blinky and a whole bunch of other people, starting right when our show finishes. So go from our show straight over to that show. We'll send links at the end so that you guys know exactly where to go. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. It's for a good cause, too. And I know that some of you are excited to hear who is going to be the recipient of all of this goodwill.
Yep.
And Ice Cream, Color Plant, are either of you going to be streaming on the 24-hour stream?
I will. Let's call
So
it.
will I.
Let's call it 25-hour stream since
25-hour stream will be
we
the
could
lead-off
essentially
hour.
be a part of it. No,
Cool.
I'll be streaming in 3 hours. So
About 3 hours? Okay.
Oh, dude.
And how about you, Color
I-
Plant?
I will be streaming from, what was it? Let me check. From 4 a.m. BST to 7 a.m. BST.
Wow.
So
okay.
I'm basically gonna have to wake up in the middle of the night and just stream and go back to sleep.
That
And I'm
is
doing it all
dedication.
because of you guys, okay?
So somebody needs to log on and help him get through that 3 hour in the dead of the
I think I'm
night.
gonna have help from Sark and maybe Simon.
Okay, cool.
And that probably just like test server shenanigans. So, hey, hype that, guys.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
So that's in about 8 hours, and then Ice Cream going in about 3 hours. So make sure you tune in for them. But without further ado, let's chat about Waypoints. So we finally have the full set of 60 scrolls ready in front of us on the test server. Hopefully they'll be coming to live in the near future, along with a few other balance changes maybe as we sort of experiment with things. Before we move too far, I'm just going to give Ice Cream and Color Plant a chance to name one scroll that they are particularly excited about from the most recent release of 16 scrolls. So we make sure to hit that. So Ice Cream, if you don't mind, I'll start with you. What scroll shall we start with?
Snargle Omelette.
Snargle Omelette. I'm really glad you said this because this is one that I'm particularly excited about. What do you think about the omelette?
I love it because it's draw in my Gravelog deck, so anything that's draw is good. And it's like, not draw in the sense where you gain cards, but, you know, you can choose what you'll get next, and
Yeah.
it's awesome.
I mean, and it does go straight into your hand, so you are basically pay 2 energy, draw a card.
Yeah, but for a card, so it's cantrip. But a good cantrip, so, yeah. Love
Well,
it.
it's not even a cantrip, at least as far as I'm reading it, because it stays out there, and you can even use it multiple times a turn.
What? Use this
Yeah.
ability only if you have 0 scrolls in hand.
And it
If
stays
you
out there.
use it, you play a Gravelock and then you use it again. Right?
Yep. So I was playing a Cisp earlier today. He was playing a Gravelock deck built around this omelet, and he was emptying his hand quickly, paying 2 energy off of the new, what's it called?
Oh, I'm
Skull
super
Shrine.
down!
That gives you 2 energy every turn. So he could afford to play a thing, sift, play it again, sift again, and he was drawing multiple cards a turn off it. It was really
You have
impressive.
no idea how dumb I am. I thought it was spell, so it's a wall. It's
Yeah, it's a wall, it's a
it's
structure, it stays.
Holy wow, that's even better. And
So you
now
can draw
Longnose
this.
is actually making sense. So
It is so good with Longnose. It is really, really good. I'm very impressed with this card right now.
indeed, wow.
I don't like it.
You don't like it? Why don't you like
I
it?
don't. I don't like it because, right. First of all, you're emptying your hand, right?
Yep.
You have nothing to play, and you're gonna sack for resources every single turn because you want to use it, right? And if you do that, the only thing you're gonna be able to play is Gravelocks, which is good in a Gravelock deck, but you still want your burns and sparks and whatever spells you use. And if you're gonna use this to its fullest, you're not gonna be able to use the spells because you're just gonna sack for resources, right? So I think I don't think it's that good, to be honest.
I don't want to use
'Cause-
spells. Spells suck in Grave
I
Look
don't-
Deck.
they don't
Burn's
though.
good.
I mean,
Iron Whip's good,
yeah.
especially with the new freak.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of things
Whip's
are really good.
good, but Fury is good, but other
Fury's
than
good.
that, I'll
And that
be
is true.
more
This is
sad.
a legitimate downside that you do have to get down to an empty hand, which is not a position you normally want to be in. And Scrolls, more than other trading card games, when you're drawing 2 cards a turn, basically makes it even harder to get down to 0. So that's definitely relevant.
Okay, here's
Yeah.
another thing.
Sure.
We all know how dependent Gravelock decks are on Elders, and this
Yes.
is super awesome for getting those Elders out. Since you'll be cycling through your Gravelocks pretty fast,
Yep.
you'll be able to get those Elders out faster and more reliably. So,
Yeah. But like still you're gonna end up with like 1,000 resources and no cards ever to play. You're just gonna play like a lot of Gravelocks each turn if you get the amulet
Right.
to stay on the board. I don't know, I don't think it's that good, to be honest. But maybe I haven't just played it right, but it doesn't seem that great to me.
I think it's definitely a build around scroll. You have to, if you're going to include it in your deck, you have to mean to use it, and you have to really think carefully about the cards you include, the plays you make. I don't think you throw it in any old energy deck or any old Gravelock deck. So I think it's okay power wise, but I think it's pretty darn good, and I'm excited to test it out a little more. But we will see. But let's take this opportunity to go ahead and chat about Sift in general before I have Colorplant pick a scroll to talk about. What do you guys think of this new mechanic? I had no idea we were going to get a new keyword.
neither did I. It's awesome. I mean, picking what you can draw is awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it helps consistency with your deck, which is great. If you can draw what you want to draw, then that's just perfect. So I love that none of them are cheap because
Yeah.
like there's no 1 or 2 cost siftings yet at least. So that makes it great because like Hearthstone has tracking, which is 1 cost basically a sift scroll, and that's just dumb because for 1 cost you can usually just play the thing you want after
Yeah.
you draw it the same turn. Here you kind of have to, if you don't have a lot of resources, you're gonna have to draw a card that you want to use the next turn, basically.
Right.
And yeah, so I like that most of the sifting stuff is at least 3 cost, and I like the mechanic in itself. I think it's good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And I like that they're not just having cards that just sift. I mean, I guess the linger spell just sifts, but it sifts multiple times over several turns, and it's kind of clever
Yeah.
the way they've implemented it. Do you guys foresee that either Advantageous Outlook, the order one that gives you a bonus if you draw a knight, or the decay one we'll see play?
I think Advantageous Outlook will. Just because sifting
Yeah.
is so good in crafting your hand, and Scrolls is pretty much a lot about crafting your hand. And Decay, which one is that?
Halls of
Halls.
Umlasa.
In the beginning-
Lhasa. 6 cost one.
It's a little bit expensive, so
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
actually think it will see much play. I mean, it's really good power wise, but do you have the time to play something like this in most decay decks? Maybe somebody will craft something around it with late game decay, but
Yeah, right now decay decks are all basically built around the Witch Doctor, and they're all, I mean, other than, I'm sorry, YOLO Decay, but YOLO Decay is not going to play the halls, so. But the Witch Doctor decay decks are very much a mid-range deck. They cap out at 6 and 7 resources for a few scrolls, but I don't know that halls fits automatically into those decks. I think it could, but I definitely see potential for a decay control deck built around the halls that just really tries to fill its hand and keep it full and keep the opponent from doing anything.
I mean, normal decay decks aren't so dependent on the draw. They are just fine with playing whatever. Since most,
Right.
like talking about the Witch Doctor decks that we have right now, it's you just spam creatures and you don't really care which one you play. So all
Right.
of them are pretty much good. So not too needed in the deck.
Yeah. I'm just picturing a scenario where you have 2 Draining Mists and a removal spell in your graveyard, and you sift through them every turn and pick which one you want to play.
Yeah.
But that takes quite a bit of setup, so I like the scroll. I'm not sure if it'll be overpowered, but I definitely like it.
We lost Marcus. Colorplant.
Oh, we lost Colorplant? That's too bad.
Yeah.
I'll give him a call back while we continue chatting.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gone. Wow.
Ah, my Skype is yelling at me now. Sorry for everybody. We're
Alright,
gonna. Hey, welcome back. Okay.
I'm
Oh.
back.
Welcome
I
back.
have no idea what happened.
All we did
At
was be
all.
sad that you were gone while you were gone.
Yeah,
So
okay, I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Did you hear anything of what I said at all?
Nope.
Or did I just... Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, the thing about Halls of Umlasa is that you can literally get no value from it at all if they play like an anti-lingering scroll the next
Yeah.
turn. Because it only works... It's 4, so it works on like your next 3 turns, right? So
Right.
if the turn after you play it, then like the opponent plays some anti-lingering scroll, that's basically a dead card for the
Right.
6 resources you played.
Especially
Which-
since the anti-lingering scrolls tend to give your opponent a benefit as well for playing them, so you can really put yourself in a hole.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'd like to compare it to Imperial Resources, but it doesn't
Okay.
have an immediate effect
Yeah.
opposed to what Imperial Resources have. So I don't know. It's so easily countered, which is
Yeah.
why it's not as good on my list with all the new good counters to lingering. Mm.
Especially Battle Hymn. Battle Hymn's going to be
Yeah.
really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, Energy's lingering counter, the Stone Enigma needs to be better. That's probably the worst counter so far.
It was good,
Except
and
for-
then with the new change, it doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, at all. And that also destroys your own lingering spells, the Stone Enigma, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it does. All lingering spells
Yeah.
are destroyed.
Yeah, so that's not great.
Yeah.
I want something better, since everyone else has something better. And it's Rattle Him.
Rattle Hymn, not Battle Hymn.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. I thought it was
I was
Battle Hymn
mistaken
this whole
first.
time.
Yeah, I was mistaken first as well. Like
No kidding.
months.
Thank you, Zark, for pointing that out in chat. All right. So now let's take the opportunity, Color Plant, for you to tell us a scroll that you would like to chat about.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Pick one.
Pick one. What am I? Oh, I want to talk about. How do I pronounce this? Erden Mirth. Erden Mirth? Is that Mirth?
Erden.
Mirth?
Earth
I don't
from
know.
Mirth.
Which one? Earthen
Like-
Mirth.
Mirth.
Like
Okay.
Earth. Mirth.
Erden Mirth. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the forecast give for attack in growth. Okay.
Yeah, what do you think about
So,
it?
like first I was like, this is a more expensive champion ring, so that's the champion ring is not that great.
Uh-huh.
But with all the stuff that gains value from enchantments right now, with Mystic and Vilda and the new lingering thing, like this is not ever really gonna be just for attack most of the time. It's gonna be a little more because of all the buffs with enchantment has in growth, right? So I think it's good actually. It looked bad to be honest at first because like compared to Machinated
Right.
and it's a 2-cost 5 attack and 4-cost 4 attack. But with all the enchantment buffs and stuff growth has, I think that's a pretty good scroll.
Okay.
To be honest, I like it.
Ice Cream, what do you think?
It might be too expensive. I mean, I like it because I like Champions Ring too, but it might be a little bit too expensive because like 4 resources is investment, like one of the only things you're going to do that turn. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
unless you're
You
playing
would really like.
on the Vilda, it's probably gonna be high priority for your opponent, and when it's gone, it's like whole turn gone plus the cards. So.
Right.
Yeah, you would really like to kill a unit with it to the turn you put it down, just so you know you get a little bit of value from it.
Yeah,
Because the creature with this is like high priority for your opponent.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think what might make it see play, if it does see play, is that, well, being in growth is just better for an effect like this than even being in energy because of all the 1 countdown, because of all the relentless. So you could get a 2-for-1 by playing it on your Great Wolf right away. Make it worth
Yeah,
it.
exactly. It's great on Great Wolves, and it's good on. I like it on Wetland Rangers because that's 2 hits and an idol is dead.
Yeah, that's true.
So that like this on a Wetland Ranger just puts your opponent on a clock, and like the turn you play it. So I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's-
if you had a choice between putting another Woodland Ranger down or this, what would you play?
If I could kill a unit right away, I would probably play the
Just-
Earthen Mirth.
Just
But-
like in idols.
I would probably go with
It
the
depends
unit.
how low the idols are, to be honest, because growth has like trouble killing the last idols if they're being defended properly. So, like, if you can kill the second last idol with this and have the third on, like, on being threatened,
Uh-huh.
is that what I'm trying to say? Then I don't know, I might pick this. Because it's hard to deal with Killing Ranger. I mean, Wetland Ranger, because it's 4 health, right? So, there's not a lot of stuff that I can actually deal with that.
Very few.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, the
Mm.
value from this scroll is lower than what you get from Wetland Rangers, so it's like below
Yeah, it is.
Wetland Ranger on the power list, so
Mm.
it's like
Yeah,
forecast this really
Yeah.
big investment. That's all I'm trying to say.
it is.
It'll be good
Yeah,
in
I
some
agree.
decks, but not an auto.
I'm gonna play around with it a lot.
Okay.
I think. And,
Maybe you can
like,
break it on the 24-hour stream later and prove us all.
dude,
that all hate is wrong.
I'm gonna use this and Fierce Tactics, and everyone's gonna be amazed. I promise.
Awesome.
Just wait. Yes.
All right.
All right. Moving on.
Yep, moving on. Another big change that came in the third set of Waypoint stuff was the change to Lingering. So, of course, this was targeted a little bit maybe at the pudding deck, but also just kind of at the general concern that Lingering spells should not stack. That was the community feedback, and they listened. So, Lingering Scrolls don't no longer stack. What do you guys think about this change?
I think it's good. It now prolongs the duration or something, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you play a Lingering Scroll that is already out there, it just adds it onto the countdown.
Yeah, I
So
think
that gives you one more
that was
turn of the
like
spell.
the expected outcome of playing another one of the same type. So it's kind of from weird mechanic to how I think it should have been from the start for me. So I'm happy with this change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colorblind, what do you think?
I like it. I mean, just prolonging. That means the second one you play is better because that gives you one more turn than the other one. Like in Skull Shrine, you only get the effect after the turn you play it. So
Right.
if you play another Skull Shrine over the first one, you get one more turn than you would with the first one. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, it also like makes the combo potential for like pudding worse, and the Brother of the Wolf endless wolf spawning combo is not as good, and is not even possible now, I think. So yeah, I think it's good. I think that's how Lingering should work, and it's in a great spot now.
I think it allows them to be a little bit more creative and print more powerful Lingering spells because they don't have to worry about the stacking effect, so that could be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we also saw the introduction of several new Lingering Scrolls that I think we should pay a little bit of attention to. We already mentioned Skull Shrine. We talked a little bit about Budding Retreat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So which of the new Lingering Scrolls do you guys think are most likely to see a lot of play?
Ascelion Spires.
Salion Spires.
Yeah, that is insane. Right now, as it's bugged because it, like, everything that spawns gets one countdown, so it attacks the next turn. That
really?
It shouldn't. Yeah, it shouldn't be like that. It should just. I think even if it is a one countdown, it should spawn it back at one. I mean, at base countdown.
Right.
Because
That's
it
how I
says
would read it.
Yeah, it says re-summons, so I guess it summons.
So it should work just like the other spells that resummon.
I'm picking, and I can't pick between Grounds of the Fallen and Skull Shrine. Both
Okay.
of them seem really good.
I think Skull Shrine in particular is really, really strong. I mean, being able to play a 5-drop on turn 3 and then having a continuous effect, that's what Power Trip does, except Power Trip goes away.
Yeah, and for 4 turns and for 2 costs, I really like it.
I think that it will be a big player, especially in Gravelock decks, because they kind of needed a way to get to those 4 and 5 drops a lot quicker, and now they can do it.
Yeah, that's right actually. You can play this turn 2, and turn 3 you have 5 resources.
Yep. And what costs 5 resources in Gravelock's
there.
Ice Cream? Huh, interesting.
Interesting. That's like
Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
This is not my idea, I should say. This is Sisp's idea. I get all of my ideas from him, so anything I say comes from him.
We are now
But-
play over the screen because Colorplan decided to be weird today.
Oh, we need to have a talk with his ISP.
Yeah, but the other one I talked about, the Grounds of the Fallen, seemed really exciting too. I mean, when you have that army out and you just buff them all, +1 attack actually makes a difference in my
Yeah.
opinion. And Magic Armor 1 is just really good on
Yeah.
all of them, so yeah.
And Linger 5, that lasts for quite a while. Of course, it affects your opponent as well, which is interesting for this sort of effect.
Oh, oh, okay. Then it might not see as much play as I thought. Still, it's really good.
I think it could still be pretty good in some tempo order builds if your goal is to play out several creatures.
Yeah. But again, in all tempo decks, like paying 3 for a spell that also affects your opponent, so you can catch up with the tempo,
Right.
might be a bit dangerous.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you have the advantage, this is like make sure your opponent doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Am I back?
Wreck him.
Yep, you're
Yes.
back. Welcome back.
Oh,
Welcome.
hi.
We just chatted about Skull
Grounds of the
Shrine
Fallen.
and Grounds of the Fallen.
Okay.
And
I
one of the
don't
things
know
we were
what's happening.
talking about with Grounds of the Fallen is it affects your opponent as well, so they're going to get that +1 attack. But you know what doesn't affect your opponent is Fjords of Vigor, the growth lingering spell. It's very simple. Enchanted units have their attack increased by 1.
That's nice.
Yeah. It is.
Enchanted decks.
I don't know.
Would you
I-
rather
I-
play this in an enchantment deck or just another enchantment, though?
Yeah, I think you'd rather just play more enchantments, to be honest, because +1 attack. I mean, you don't have a lot of enchanted creatures out at once, right? It's
Right.
like max 2 or maybe 3 at most. Most people just run Stagheart, maybe a couple of Oak Bloods, which I
Yeah.
don't think is anymore because of the icon. So,
Now
I
you're
don't think Fjords of
lagging.
Vigor.
Yeah, it's probably not as good, especially since Earthborn Mystic provides the exact same effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how long does it last?
It lasts for 4, so it lingers for 4.
Yeah, okay. It should last longer. If it lasts like 6, then maybe
Yeah.
it wouldn't run.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I think it's good, but you provided some valid points that it's really not as good, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you'd rather have a creature out that provides the same effect and, I mean, lasts forever if you can keep it alive. So,
Right.
well,
mm,
maybe in future we'll get introduced some mass enchantments that could affect
That would make sense.
multiple creatures at
that would be
once.
nice.
That's actually pretty clever because that's something that paper TCGs can't really do, but something like Scrolls could do pretty easily.
Yeah, and it's like, play a red king, then you mass enchant all 3 reds, suddenly they all have this enchantment, plus you play it.
Yeah.
It could be really good in future, depends on what the vision with enchantments is.
Yeah, something
could-
like 5 cost, enchant 3 random units with Champion Ring or something like that.
Yeah.
That might. I mean, then I have to think about what is it, Earth and Testament again. That
So-
counts down every enchantment.
Oh,
you
yeah.
have invoked. Yeah.
Ah,
They have to think about that because if they have like mass enchantment and then that,
that
if
could be
the mass
good.
enchantment thing is too. Yeah, exactly.
But I mean,
You could just run Curse Hex on your own units and
here's the thing,
Yeah.
Fjords
And,
of Vigor plus Earth and Testament are both like really going for that. You should have all of your units enchanted, but enchanting them one by one just doesn't make sense.
Right.
yeah, exactly.
So, some, like, not enchant 5 units, but something that enchants at least 2 at once or 3 at once could be, like, balanced and really good for these kind of decks that want to have all of their board enchanted.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Let's pester Mojang, see if we can get that in the next set that will come out in quite some time.
And
Or
it's-
maybe they'll replace Totem Mask with a mass enchantment of some sort. There's a lot of chat in our Twitch chat about Totem Mask and how it may be the worst scroll in the set or one of the worst ever.
Stop trying to make Totem Mask a thing.
I mean,
sorry.
just paying 5 cost for something that doesn't do anything when it comes into play.
Yeah.
Board is
cool.
saying that we have AoE enchantment cluster hex, but that's not true because it's a effect now. Both.
Yeah, that is a
Curse and
brand new
Yeah.
change that
So-
is unannounced in the patch notes, but has been implemented. That Curse and Poison no longer count as enchantments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So so no
All right,
bust.
the last lingering spell that I want to talk about is Ancestral Pact, which is not in the brand new set of 16, but did see a change. It's not working on test server yet, but now Ancestral Pact lingers for 3. And you know what that
Yeah.
means? If I quake my
That
army of
means
rats,
it's
I'm
insane.
drawing a bunch of scrolls.
Oh, I don't like it. Make it
It's
go
scary.
away now. It is scary because like everyone was when Ancestral Pact first came out, people were
Yeah.
like, "This is gonna be OP if it works
Yep.
on your turn," and now it works on your turn like 3 turns.
Yeah,
and
so it's
also
3
the
times
opponent's
that.
turn. So I mean, dude,
Oh,
You know what?
I think it should have like the Selgan Spires have. Like if we draw a scroll of a dying creature, it goes away for 1 duration, and maybe make it last a little longer. That would be a nice fix to it.
yeah, I think so. Right now it seems kind of OP, like in
I
the
mean,
Go Draw or something.
Thus,
do you remember the Growth Decay decks that were being played not too long ago, even before Wild was a thing?
Oh,
Now
yeah.
imagine Ancestral Pact with Necrogeddon.
Holy
oh my god,
shit.
I don't want to.
I mean, you can draw your deck pretty quickly
It's-
doing that.
Wow, I'm kind of scared now because it seems like it's really.
Hey, that should be a pudding scroll then.
Maybe it should be.
Dude,
I mean, pudding's
That's
pretty
gonna
pretty
make
hurt right
pudding
now.
better.
but Pudding's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be chunky pudding because you're not going to get a lot of resources. You're just drawing a bunch of
Thanks to
stuff.
pudding.
I mean, if you get in the Necrogeddon into Pudding plus Eclipse, then why not?
That's infinite.
Yeah.
You can go infinite.
Dude, you can
As long as
actually
you
go
can get your whole
infinite.
deck
Oh
in
my
your
god.
hand. Okay, let's maybe we can get Blinky to break this.
Yeah.
It'll take
New
you 20
assignment.
minutes.
Uh,
All right, so that's our thoughts on Ancestral Pact. Definitely may need to get looked at. Okay, so the next set of scrolls that I want to talk about are the 2 uniques that fill out our set of 4 total uniques. Mojang kept their promise that was announced for the first time on Heart of Scrolls when Mons was our guest a few months ago. That their goal was to have some uniques that were not super expensive, and they have definitely succeeded in that. I'm very impressed by especially Reloros, the Lord Knight, as far as a potential either replacement or in addition to the Royal Vanguard in Order decks. What do you guys think?
Wow.
I replaced Vanguard with Reloros just because I want to play Starlight over Vanguard. I don't know, like having too many 5-drops in my own deck.
Yeah,
Because I'm working like a mid game at the moment. It only goes up to 5, and like Reloros does work of Vanguard, but even better because he doesn't need to have countdown to 1 to get his effect to
Right.
go off. But his effect can go off at any time, and he can be like more than 2 attack. And
yeah,
I don't know. He's just he doesn't
Very
have
strong.
that, so he's just better in my opinion. Like I can replace a 5 cost with a better 4 cost, and have some better 5 costs in the deck instead. It just makes the whole deck better.
right.
So yeah, it's good,
Is-
really good.
Is my or your internet breaking?
I think it's Color Plant's internet that's really struggling, unfortunately.
Oh god, I'm so sorry, guys.
We can hear you. You're just not super clear, but we'll
Am
make
I?
do.
Oh,
Yeah. I just really love Another Resonance in Order because I really like that keyword. So
I like the
Okay.
keyword. I haven't liked necessarily how they've utilized it so far, but I really, like you said, I really like the way they did it on this. I think it's a very simple effect, and Resonance needs to be a simple effect because if it's too complicated of an effect, you can do it just a lot and it gets overwhelming. But
yeah, I just like that it encourages playing the what are they called, cantrips that we used
Yeah.
to play a long time ago before they were all increased to 2 cost.
yeah,
So
Father,
I just love those scrolls, and I'm hoping to see they can come back. All the potters, transpositions, and kabongs.
right. And like Anti-Rad and Imbermax said, I play 2 Kabonks and buff my Reloros and 6 adjacent units by 2. That's potence.
that is.
I pother your guy away, all my guys get +1 attack.
Yeah.
It's good that he's unique. That's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh,
That brings up a good point. The sort of general wisdom is that with the expensive uniques, you want to play probably 2 in your deck because you don't want multiple in your hand. Now that we've got cheaper uniques, do you still play 2 or do you play all 3?
I play all 3. I do.
Yeah.
Now, like, I think that is that they are not OP, and that's not the uniques. If there were more of them, then they would be OP, right?
Okay.
So,
I did.
like, because you.
Sorry, Color Plant, we're losing
Yeah.
you.
Am I? Oh god.
Now you're back though.
Am I? Okay. Sorry.
Um,
This is bad. Okay. Am
So-
I? Me? Am
yeah,
I-
kind of, but not really.
I am closest to the guy and
No, not at all.
5 seconds.
I don't know
Yeah.
about you, Smogan, but I'm trying, but I just.
Yeah, I can't make it out. So we'll go over to you, Ice Cream, and Color Plant. If you don't mind trying to reconnect, maybe that'll take care of it.
I'll try. Okay. Give me a few seconds. I'll be right
Sure.
back.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
We were talking about whether or not you play all 3 copies of the less
Oh,
expensive
right,
unique
right.
spells. And the Color Plant's argument was you still want to play 3 because they're cheaper, and then the unique serves as a balancing factor for powerful scrolls like Reliras that you don't want to
Yeah.
have 2 and play at once.
Yeah, I would definitely play 3 of Riloras because once he gets on board, he's going to be high priority, so it's better to have 3 of them once
Yeah.
they get killed. It's like when it's forecast, it's definitely makes sense to have 3
Right.
of them. For me, at least.
Yeah, that makes sense. For something that's going to be a real key part of your deck, I would not be shy about including all 3.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I want all 3 of Reliras just because his sprite is so cool. I think it's one of the coolest arts that creature arts that I've seen.
I haven't actually seen it in game, but it looks like he's just not even facing his opponents. He's just looking at you.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like, check me out. My armor is so cool. I want you to see it.
Yeah, exactly. It's
And I
like,
appreciate that because I do want to see it.
yeah. But it's kind of weird. You know, I
Yeah.
can't imagine him being on the board between all of those units all ready to attack, and he's like, "Yo, what's up?"
Hi, guys. Battle's over there on the flank.
Yeah.
The other unique that is in the most recent release is, of course, Urva, Voice of the Dead. And I am in love with Urva. I think she's one of my favorite scrolls in all of scrolls, so I'm super excited about this. What do you think about Urva? Does she make a cut in Decay decks?
Yes, she does. I don't know about the cost. I don't know how high undead decks go because I haven't played it actually. But the ability is really cool. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in love. I just absolutely love it. I'm a total fanboy for Urva.
So we are going to play undead once it comes out.
Well, that's a good question. Like, I don't typically like to play pure undead decks. I would rather probably play a more mid-rangey late game decay deck and just have enough undead effects. And if I've got 12 resources, Necrogeddon and then dropping an Urva would be wonderful. But
Oh,
something
wow.
like that.
12 resources.
Yeah. Probably quite a reach, but more likely you would Necrogeddon and then later on play Urva and then just gain some incidental advantage.
It's really nice dream though to have 12 resources and Necro getting into Irva. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice to have goals in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So we are going to play Decay.
I love Decay. It's going to be really hard for me not to play Decay. I like Gravelocks too, but I'm
Yeah.
going to be building Decay decks.
Hold on.
It will be my second go-to too. I mean,
You going to stick with your Gravelock energy?
I just have to for history's sake and for all of those moments where I was wishing
Right.
Gravelocks were a thing. I'll just have to stick with it. And then I'll transition into Undead.
Yeah.
Probably. You're back, but I.
Hey,
say
Color
something.
Plant.
I had to go on my Mac. I think this should be better.
You're better, but still not great, but we'll persevere and see how it goes.
Okay, let's try. The webcam is all
Yeah.
weird now.
So while we're talking about Gravelocks, what do we think about Gravelock Freak? I have my opinion on it, but I want to hear what you guys say first.
We're like, he's powerful.
Mm,
He's really powerful.
I like
Are
the
you
high
still
health.
with me?
Okay, go, but I don't know if you're talking or not.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ice Cream. We'll see if he's there.
I really love the high health, but the ability, I'm not too sure if it's too good. I'm hoping it works with the one countdown. What are they called? The one you destroy by playing spell or enchantment. Wow, see how bad my memory is. Yeah, the small ones.
I'm having a hard time figuring out what you're talking about. Sorry.
Small grave logs, forecast, grave. Damn it, whatever. Yeah, I'm just hoping it works with destroying effects as well as taking
Oh,
damage.
on Lockling Brood.
Yeah,
Okay.
Luckling Brood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I could
I'm actually, I think if you spark or burn Lockling Brood, it would work. I don't know if like they played a pother on your Lockling Brood, how that it would interact.
I'm hoping it would because it just makes sense, you know. Draw the
Yeah.
attention to the brood that makes your freak essentially the same power because you
Right.
also have one countdown. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I don't know if I like love him and I'm super excited about him, but he's nice. Not bad.
I was just played a few games with him so far, and I was impressed. Of course, the Iron Whip synergy is what people think of first, but it was even better than I thought how quickly I could use that. What I found was that Gravelock Freak, just through my stuff and my opponent's combat damage, was attacking every turn. So he was like basically another set of Lockling Broods that's just much, much tougher to kill.
How does it work with damaging him? Like you can damage him and he doesn't come down, right? So you just have
Correct.
to, yeah.
So if he's up front and he tanks some damage, he will not count down.
So he's played him back. Okay. I'm
He
playing-
could be played him back. He's got a ton of health, so I mean, with one Elder out, he's already up to 7, and that's a lot for a 5 cost. So he can stand up front and take a beating if he needs to, but having him in back to get more countdown is good too.
And having 3 of them out is like pretty good.
Yes,
I think.
very good, very very good.
Yeah.
So I think he is a very nice combination with the other 4 and 5 cost Gravelock Scrolls, and really makes a strong mid range play.
Yeah. Gravelocks in my eyes transformed how we were receiving the scrolls from a early deck, a tempo deck, to a very good mid-range deck, it seems. Like the Omelette and Freak are what were missing for me to actually see what Mojang were aiming for with all the
Yeah.
Gravelocks. Because I just
Absolutely.
couldn't see it and I just saw them trying to force them into something they are not. But with these 2 scrolls, it's actually making sense. So yeah, after I finish Divinity, I'll start tinkering on this server with everybody else.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to echo what you said, and that I was concerned, and a lot of folks in the community were concerned that Gravelocks were getting away from like this aggro build that everyone thought they should have, but they're a mid-range deck, absolutely a mid-range deck, and I think we need to start thinking of them as such and be excited about them.
Oh, apparently mirrors are pretty bad with Freak.
In my testing, it did not. The wording reads that it should work off of opponents' Gravelocks, but it does not in my testing. So I don't know what it'll be
Okay.
when they get around to fixing everything.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's for your side only.
Yeah, because yeah, then the mirror would be pretty ridiculous.
Mirrors are kind of weird in many cases, so
Yeah.
getting rid of those weirdnesses in mirrors would be good. Undeads,
Right.
I think mirror undead matchup will be interesting
Yeah.
to watch too. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to try to get Color Plant back. He's going to give it one more go, but probably not going to happen. So Ice Cream and I are just going to finish up with just the 2 of us, most likely. So Ice Cream, a question I have for you is, what do you think about Waypoints as a whole, now that we've seen the entire 60 scrolls?
Loving it. Yeah, I'm really happy. Like fan service. No, it's actually fan service is used for something else. But we were hoping for Gravelocks for ages. We got them. Finally, Waypoints made energy.
Yeah.
Have 3 kinds of decks that everybody loved. Undead's another thing that I just loved how they were able to theme it all correctly. Like we got Knights, Undeads, and Gravelocks for most part. Growth is kind of weird, but Vilda is interesting, so I guess
Yeah.
enchantments were the focus there, but... oh, right, and the puddings. Yeah, I kind of forgot
Yeah.
about those.
Well, you bring up a good
Guys.
point. Hey, Color Plant, are you back?
Hey, am I working?
You
Yes.
sound great right now. Excellent.
Do I? Oh god, really?
Wonderful. Excellent. Really glad to
Wow.
have you join us.
Oh, I'm happy.
What we're talking about now is that we've moved on from the individual scrolls. There's 1 or 2 we might revisit still, but talking about Waypoints in general. And I asked Ice Cream about his thoughts on the set as a whole, and frankly, he's impressed, especially with the synergy within factions. What do you think about Waypoints as a whole?
Waypoints as a whole, I think, yeah, as you said, synergy. We got a lot of synergy, working synergy. But like, since they focused so much on synergy in some factions, I think
we got some stuff that like isn't that exciting because everything in energy revolved around Gravelocks, right?
Right.
And people wanted more Gravelocks, but they also want more for ranged and more new exciting spells and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's
No,
all really
that's a great
cool.
point.
Yeah, it's all really cool, and it's all like I love all the new stuff, but like it doesn't make energy better as a faction. It only like Waypoints only make the Gravelock deck better. There's not a lot of things in Waypoints that makes energy other decks than Gravelocks good at all.
Right.
And I think it helped Order because they like created a new archetype instead of just building upon one that already was.
Okay.
It created it did build upon Knights, but Knights didn't really have synergy at all until Waypoints.
That's true.
Right, so
Here's the thing.
Did
You
they?
only go on. Go on.
oh, okay. Decay got a lot of undead stuff, but I still think, except for Urva, I think all the undead creatures still don't have a lot of solid stats on their own. So I'm still not a big fan of the Decay. I think Decay got like the most not exciting stuff this patch. Like Urva is really cool, but the rest of it,
I think Decay has the most variance in its
Yeah.
skills. Like it has some really, really cool, either just super flavorful, like Umlasa is just so cool.
yeah.
But then there's stuff
Umlasa
like
is
Voodoo
like
Fighter, that's just a vanilla.
Yeah. The Umlasa High Guard is the coolest thing that has
Yeah.
ever come to Scrolls. He looks fucking awesome, and his ability is really cool. But with his current stat and health and attack, he's not that great.
Yeah.
He needs to be reworked a little bit, but like I want to make him good, dude, because he just looks awesome.
He's just so cool. So
Yeah.
I'll add some more thoughts on
Sure.
the waypoints since Carlin brought something up. I think like since you have only 15 scrolls per faction in one set, you can't really like satisfy everybody. So I'm just
Right.
happy they had a theme and they stick with it, because having a theme with a new set is something that makes it more. Like, if you had 15 completely different scrolls that adds something here, something there, it's like confusing for especially casual players, I would say. So it's like really nice to have the theme and people can go, oh, they added knights, oh, they added gravelogs that are now playable. And together they just made sense. If you added only some of the gravelogs, the others, like, it still wouldn't be complete. So I'm happy that we got something of a complete set, I think. Like, playtesting needs to be done and some adjustments need to be done, but with everything that was added, it made sure that the archetype that was added actually makes sense and is able to
Yeah.
work in a good deck.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that. But I remembered that I'm kind of disappointed, or not disappointed, but said that we didn't get more of stuff like Pillage and Dominion, especially
Yeah.
since we got the
Did we get any
lingering-
Pillage
we got the-
Dominion?
no, I don't
Waypoint?
think
the
we
lingering
got
scrolls that help them, but no actual pillage
Yeah.
or dominion effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have like 2 or 3 per faction, and
Yeah.
it's really low. And here's the thing: I would want to say Mojang screw next sets and just work on the rest of the game, because like I think that we have really good number of scrolls right now, and we can like even without the new scrolls, the meta could shift on its own. And maybe some balance changes here and there could provide a good
Yeah.
environment for the competitive scene for a long time. But there are still like these things like not enough pillage, not enough dominion, and
A lot of holes still.
yeah, a lot of holes that need to be filled. So I'm kinda, I don't know. I want to say go on, screw the next set. It could wait because we have enough for fun. But on the other hand, I really want more pillage and dominion
Yeah.
and a few other things. So yeah.
Now, my thought is, so clearly they wanted to push a tribal theme, which is something we haven't seen a lot of in Scrolls. But like you said, the challenge with only having 60 scrolls in a set is if you want to have themes, you really need all of your scrolls in a given faction to speak right to that theme. You don't have any room for just general practice scrolls. So I guess what I'm hoping in the future is to see more larger sets rather than fewer 60 scroll sets. I like what we've gotten so far, but I think that they could really more fully explore mechanics in larger sets or in sequential sets that built on those themes further. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the general community thinks about waiting longer for more scrolls.
Because like the way we have it now, some of the scrolls in this set becomes dead until we get something in the next set
Right.
that's good with the ones we have now.
Right.
So I don't know if bigger sets are better, or if like sets more often and
Yeah.
less sets. I don't know what's best, but
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
no
know
definitely
if
no
this is the best either.
there's
Yeah.
definitely no best way to do it, but like Ice Cream said, and like what you said, Color Plan, if this set really pushed, for example, Gravelocks in energy. If you're an energy player and you're not a particular big fan of Gravelocks, then you're just kind of out of luck for a few months, and that's really unfortunate. But there's no other way for them to push a theme other than dedicate 80% of their card slots. So I'm wondering if bigger sets might help that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I yeah, I don't know if bigger sets should be. I don't like that theme of bigger sets. Like it would be too much at once, and I think 60
Yeah.
is good number of scrolls in for collection and everything.
Yeah. I think with our player base the way it is, they don't want to wait to build a 120, 180 card set. I don't think that makes sense, but
Yeah, that too.
long term, maybe bigger, but that's just my opinion. All right, so I guess I'll hop off my soapbox real quick. And there's two more scrolls that I want to talk about. We've got about 10 minutes left before I throw everybody over to the OWL stream for the 24-hour stream. The first one is the Terran, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but the Brute. The 3 cost,
Yeah.
5, 5, 5 in growth. Holy cow, that's a big creature. And it's going to count down quickly. What do you guys think?
It's OP. It's too good. Like in growth, they can drop at least 2 creatures each turn, and they want to drop at least 2 creatures each turn. And they have Rat King, which is
Yeah,
dropping 3 creatures with
Yeah.
1 scroll. So it's like Arbalest there. It's gonna attack like every second turn anyway. So I don't know. It should have I think it should have its countdown increased by 1 or 2, and have its health set to 4.
I
Okay.
Because
yeah, go on.
I'm done.
Yeah, I
go ahead,
think
Ice Cream.
for 3 cost 5 health is really a lot for a creature that actually is kind of good. I think it should not count down on itself for it to be.
So more like Harvester?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, yeah, I think 5 will count down on its own plus every creature return. Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 countdown essentially, and that's really good.
Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah.
weird because like a harvester is something you want to put in the back because it's gonna attack at one point, hopefully. But Terran Brute you can just put in the front because it's tanky as well, right? It had
Yeah.
the problem that harvester used to have when it had 6 health.
Yeah.
It's a free cost that has 5 health, so if you put it down, it's just gonna tank and defend your units for a while, and maybe even attack before it dies.
Yeah.
So, I
But of
don't know,
course,
it's-
not
it's-
having Relentless is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
I wanted
course.
to mention that it doesn't have relentless, so it can be chump blocked, but not every deck has chump blockers. So it kills
Yeah.
Wing's Shield, it kills
Yes, it
like
does.
most of the knights. So yeah, against Order it's really good, I think.
I think it's better than Breaker, that's for sure.
It is. I don't think Breaker's gonna see much play anymore. After
Breaker
that
was
Neil
great
died.
when it got printed because it was the only option, but it has been outclassed.
And there's a lot of other options now.
Yeah.
And most of them are better.
So the last scroll that I want to talk about before I come back to the point you just made, Color Plant, for our final thought, Feedback
Oh.
Jolt. So this was extremely powerful when Curse counted as an enchantment because you could pretty easily curse their whole board and then hit everything for 5, and that's pretty insane. But now it does not interact with Curse. Do you guys think it would actually see play anymore that it doesn't have that interaction?
If you wanted to counter enchantment growth, then yes. But if you don't, then no.
I'm just
I don't know,
concerned that
it's-
it's so narrow now. It only is good against that one
Yeah.
deck.
Yeah, but
I mean-
Grove is not the only thing running enchantments, is it? I mean,
Order has a
Most part it
few.
is.
Order has a
Order,
few.
you could probably hit 1 or 2 Order units.
Yeah, Decay is not running a lot. I don't think at all. Is it? Like the normal
No.
starter Decay deck.
Like
it's not
you would,
running
you would
enchantments.
languid the
Yeah,
opponent.
languid.
Stuff, but
Okay.
I mean, could you like? There's no negative enchantments in energy, so there's nothing to combo with right,
Right.
there.
I'm going to be a little bit, I don't know, against the tide, I guess, is my opinion. But I kind of like that it is only good against that one deck, because having counters to a deck is, I think, good. Like, having
Yeah.
something that completely counters the other deck is something good. Like, when new player comes in and has a huge problem with the deck that runs X, and adding this as a response that helps him improve his play because it will like attack the issue that he's having trouble with makes sense. If you want to build a deck that's going to be only good against growth, enchantment, then you should be able to. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah,
like
it's like a meta counter. If
Yeah.
the meta becomes growth enchantments, then just run this and turn the meta around. So that's a good thing.
That's a great point, and I think there's room certainly in the game for scrolls like this that not a hard counter for enchantment decks, but certainly put them in their place so that if they ever do become the number one deck, then energy decks can build to fight them.
yeah.
And it's even good if they only have one enchanted unit. It's still 3 costs for 3 damage. There's nothing like that in the game right now, so it's
I mean,
okay.
The more counters you're going to have in a game, the more alive the meta will be, and the more like factions will be.
Yeah.
What's the term?
Viable.
Viable.
Playable.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, it kind of makes sense to me. At one side, everybody who's playing Growth Enchantment could say, "Oh, but it counters me." But on the other hand, it's energy could counter you, then something
Yeah.
will come and counter energy, and it will just be this live thing that will evolve together. Even when no changes are made in the game, the meta could still shift around all these things, maybe go in circles. I like counters.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Feedback Jolt in your mind represents a very good direction for
Yeah.
certain narrow scrolls to go.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Any final thoughts? I had one more topic, but I think I'm going to save it actually for an entire podcast. I really want to talk about power creep. So I'm just going to tease that a future show that will be coming soon will be dedicated specifically to power creep in Scrolls and how we think it compares to other games. But I don't think we can cover that in 5 minutes right now, so we're going to save that. But any other thoughts about Waypoints Part 3?
I'll just say to the power creep. Have you read what Kernelizer said about it on IRC, or did you not see? what
I
he
have
said?
not seen that. So if you can find that for me, then I
Yeah.
could include that in that show. That would
Yeah.
be very helpful.
I will do that.
It
Yeah.
was basically like want to rather put everything that's not as good as the new stuff up to their level instead of nerfing the stuff now.
Okay.
I think was just the gist of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. And there's
Yeah.
a comment in chat, and I should have said this, I'm sorry, but power creep is a term in the trading card game genre that refers to the steady increasing of power over time as sets get released. And it's an easy trap to fall into because if you print cards, an initial set of cards, and then you want to print more cards that are relevant that'll get played, they have to be better.
If
So
Essentially,
you tend to slowly make your cards better over time.
if you want players to keep spending money on your
Yeah.
game, then you have to give them something that's better than what they previously had.
Right.
And
Especially if you don't have any format that restricts what you can use.
I think the important thing to say is that Mojang said that they don't want to have power creep, and they think that digital format is good, and not having free to play is good because they don't have to have power creep, and everything could be viable. But yeah, Kernelizer said something, and we see something. Next show, it'll be good.
Yep, I think that'll be a really good topic of conversation. So I just wanted to tease that now because I think it's a really cool thing to chat about, and we don't have time to cover it now. But so that is our show. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to make a couple of plugs, and then I want everybody to go to the Owl stream for the start of the 24-hour stream. That's starting in 3 minutes, so get excited for that. Here's the link. Posted. Okay.
Nice.
So the last plugs I want to make is, of course, to check out the Badger Guild YouTube channel and iTunes website. That's linked in the Reddit post for this show. We have lots of stuff on the Badger Guild YouTube channel, including old shows as well as the Scrolls Cast series, where I spectate games and commentate on them. So give that a shot. Comment, like if you enjoy it, so that I continue to do it. I appreciate the positive reinforcement. And then what else do we want to? There's ESL this weekend, right?
Yes.
What is that? Is it Decay?
Is it
No, I think
I don't
it's
have a
the Highlander.
Highlander?
Oh, that
Is it
one's
the
so much
final one?
fun.
I think.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
I
so
should
check
know
that out
this.
on Sunday. That is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, Colorblind, come on, you're one of the admins. You should know this. All right,
Shoot.
so those are my plugs for now, but the big one is, of course, the Owl stream. Everybody should go check that out. 24-hour stream for someone that we really care about here in the Scrolls community that needs some help right now. So everyone go check that out. I'm going to spam the chat, But that's all we have. So thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you. See
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.